Alright, what's going on, guys? DZanix here, and welcome to King of Headphones. Today we're taking a closer look at the Moondrop Horizon. Here we're going to check out the looks, build, comfort, and sound, and then we'll rank them amongst past headphones from previous episodes to see where they land on our master list. And together we'll find out if maybe, just maybe, they are the king of headphones. So I don't know, how about we just go ahead and get started?
I want to feel your sound stage resolution and detail in my brain. Plug me in and amp me up. Your audiophile. Attitude gets me oh so hot.
Okay, so coming in at around $200, we've got the Horizon Moondrop. Now, this is the company that's known for putting anime ladies on the front of all of their boxes. And so this episode of King of Headphones is the most Japanimation you're going to see on this channel today. Now, when I first heard about these, I was pretty excited because Moondrop makes one of the best sub $300 IEMs I've ever listened to, the Moondrop Dusk. I love that IEM, and it would definitely be pretty high up on the list of King of IEMs, but I'm not going to do IEMs on this channel. There are entirely too many IEMs, and no. But when I saw that Moondrop was coming out with a $200-ish full-sized headphone, I thought, I bet that thing is going to sound pretty great. It's probably going to punch well above its price range, and not really. No. So let's go ahead and just get started with the looks and the build. You know, I actually do very much like the look of it. It's mostly metal. It's pretty much all aluminum with a suspension band, which is always a nice thing for comfort. There's, as you can see, the grills are almost entirely this geometric pattern that definitely has a unique look, and you can clearly see the drivers inside. Now you do have the standard 3.5mm jacks on these, which I am a huge fan of that. I'm very happy to see that most headphones in pretty much all segments are just going that route. At least that's one good thing happening in this world. This suspension strap at the top underneath the metal headband is very flimsy, quite thin. It does its job. The top of my head never felt hot wearing these. It's a little bit on the cheaper side of materials as far as these kind of head strap headphones go. Pads are actually pretty nice and plush. I do like the pads. They're a hybrid pad, so the outside ring is kind of a protein leather. I don't think it's real leather. Actually, it might be real leather. It kind of smells like leather. The inside part is a very soft, plush kind of suede material. My only complaint are the pads are just a little bit too small. My ears do feel a bit cramped inside these ear holes. And while these are light, even if I click these down to the smallest spot on the band, these things feel entirely too large on my smallish to medium-sized head. And honestly, there's hardly any clamp force with these. I mean, you can just see kind of how loose they are. Boing, boing, boing. Yeah, it's very, very loose. And at one point, they actually did fall off of my head when I leaned down to pick something up. All in all, though, I do like the look. The cups are very unique. I like the geometric pattern that's in there. I like being able to see that whole driver with the little reflective ring. But looks aren't everything. How's about that sound? Well, in a word, pretty disappointing, to be honest. As I said, I absolutely love the Moondrop Dusk IEMs. Those are fantastic IEMs. So I was really excited about this guy. And, right out of the box, it just sounded completely different than what I was expecting, I guess. You kind of, with these angled drivers and that big, basically like barely covered grill, you would kind of think, oh, this is going to be like an airy sort of wide sound stage type headphone. And it's really not. The soundstage is quite narrow. It's much, much smaller, and kind of claustrophobic than I was expecting. It's medium at best, but everything always sounds just a little too closed in, a little bit too claustrophobic. Sound signature wise, I don't even really know. It's very uneven. Sometimes it's quite dark. Other times it's harsh, especially in the upper mids. On some tracks, it's just spiky and almost, too aggressive. The treble is very strange. At times, it's kind of veiled. That characteristic also diminishes any kind of detail retrieval, any sort of space between instruments. You're just not going to get any of that, any sort of sense of airiness. But then on other tracks, it got very spiky and just abrasive and harsh. The bass, it does have some punch to it, but it definitely gets a little bloated often, and it will bleed into the mid-range, making the mid-range a little bit on the muffled side. That does create a sense of, less clarity. These definitely are not super detailed headphones. And the tuning overall, it just kind of sounds unnatural. Instruments and vocals can a lot of times, to me, just sound quite hollow, especially male vocals. There isn't a lot of presence there. Mid-range definitely gets a little bit shouty. At the end of the day, I gotta say, unfortunately, I found the Moondrop Horizon to be a little bit of a letdown. I think for gaming, maybe this could work. Some genres sound better than others. Definitely, this is a no-go for rock music for me. Some electronic music sounded all right. Vocal music, not good on these. I just did not enjoy vocals with these, to be honest. Instrumental stuff, it fares a little bit better. But again, the soundstage being what it is, kind of claustrophobic. There's not a lot there to just kind of let yourself get lost in the music. You're just kind of sitting there feeling the same way as this headphone, confused. So yeah, just an overall kind of forgettable experience. Listening to these, I wasn't super engaged. I guess you could say that at the end of the day, these headphones kind of made me feel a lot like getting dropped on the moon. Empty, dark, and alone. So that's kind of all I've got to say about these, I think. Pretty disappointing, but we gotta rank them. So let's find out if, maybe these will be the king of headphones. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so I've got the list pulled up here, and we can go ahead and rank this Moondrop Horizon. Just to kind of give you guys an idea of what I was talking about. There you go. So yeah, pretty loosey-goosey. It's going to be kind of an easy one for me, to be honest. Moondrop, I'm sorry for kind of laying into this Horizon. I love the Dusk. Dusk is great. It's a great IEM. One of the best under $300. But I would take the Grado Hemp over this one. Just that lack of clarity, the very mediocre soundstage, the wonkiness in the upper mids, the shoutiness. It just all comes together in a very confusing package. And I think that at the $200 price range, there's so many better options out there from other companies. So yeah, let's put the Moondrop Horizon, and it's a solid, is it C? You know what? I think this is going to be our first D tier headphone. I'm just not a huge fan. I am not a fan of this one. I'm going to say it's around 200 bucks. 200 bones there. I mean, at least, the Grado Hemp, for all of its flaws, at least it makes me feel something, unlike the Moondrop Horizon, which makes me feel nothing. So, there you have it. Congratulations to Moondrop Horizon being at the bottom of the list as not the king of headphones. But according to this list right now, it's a top 5 headphone. So that's something. But we've got a long ways to go. There's a lot more headphones out there to rank. So please consider subscribing. Like this video if you liked it. And let me know in the comments if there's other headphones you'd really like to see. And with that, please join me in about 2 more weeks. We're going to do another headphone. I've already got it lined up, and it's going to be a good one. Or 2. Think about that. So yeah, be good to each other and enjoy your headphones. I'll see you later, guys.